Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily and I make videos all about moving abroad, travel and also owning a business. But today we're going to take a little trip down memory lane. You may know that one of my very first videos on this channel was about me moving to Paris, and that was a few years ago now, but it's a special memory. It was the first time I moved abroad ever by myself. Not ever, just by myself. But it led on to me moving abroad many more times, and I guess it kind of set me up for the lifestyle I have today. But I never really made any other videos about my experience in Paris specifically. And recently I came across some old vlog footage that I took of my very first day moving to Paris. So what I thought would be interesting is to edit that into a little vlog, which is very short. I'm basically going to react to it. I'm going to try and give as natural a reaction as I can, keeping in mind I've obviously already seen the footage, but just comment a bit on things that I would do differently now, what I was thinking feeling at the time versus how things worked out, and hopefully this can provide some practical advice to you whether you're thinking of moving to Paris, or moving anywhere in the world, to be honest. Since Paris I have moved to and lived in and worked in Italy and now Brussels, Belgium, so I feel like I've learnt a thing or two about this kind of thing since then. This should be interesting, a little bit embarrassing, but let's go into it. So basically I was going to do an internship abroad. I was still a student at the time. Here I would have been about 20 years old, and I'm kind of different now, but I don't know, let's chat about that after. So here I am. Oh god, it's attractive already. Okay, let's do this thing. Hey guys, please excuse the no makeup face. The reason I'm not wearing any makeup and I'm standing in my garden right now is because I've been packing all day and I'm taking a kind of final walk around my garden because tomorrow I'm moving to Paris. So in the early hours of the morning I'm going to be hopping on a plane to go to Paris, where I will be spending the next 6 months working and living and improving my French and just hopefully having a great time. And I really wanted to film the sort of process of actually moving to France. So what I'm going to do is film tomorrow. Bugs. So what I'm hoping to do tomorrow is to actually film a lot of the process of me moving. So the next time you see me, it's probably going to be very, very early and I'm not going to be too chatty, but I really hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so I think that my intent with this was to make it into a vlog. Like I wanted to document it. I don't know if I had this channel yet, but I wanted to document it. Not much to say about the first bit. I don't remember exactly the emotions I had at that time. My parents helped me to move across, so I don't think like it had really hit me yet. I had a place to live. I was nervous about starting the internship, but compared to since I've moved and lived abroad now and travelled for long periods of time by myself now I get more scared. Then I didn't have as much fear. I don't know. I know some of my friends who were doing the same thing as me got really nervous and scared, but when I was younger I was always like this. I kind of didn't really think about the reality of the obstacles that would come until they came, and then it would hit me and I'd get lonely or angry or sad, but kind of building up to it I found it more exciting. Right, so let's go on to the moving bit. Good morning everyone, it's currently 10 to 5. Which means we've been on the road for about an hour. We're just driving to the airport and the sun's coming up now. It's pouring down with rain, which does make it a little easier to say goodbye to England, but it's not goodbye, it's see you soon. Look carefully at those bags. You might think, oh, her parents came with her for like a weekend to Paris and that is true, but all of those bags are filled with my stuff and I'm not proud of it. Like, I'm really not. At the time I thought it was like, oh yeah, you guys, I bought 6 suitcases with me. You can't even see them all in that shot. That is not necessary, I can confirm now. Don't bring 6 suitcases with you abroad. Like, I'm so embarrassed because it makes me look just so high maintenance and spoiled, but luckily a few months after this I discovered minimalism, At this time I was also a beauty blogger, so I felt like I needed to take I just didn't want to leave any chances. I wanted to bring all my hair colours, I wanted to bring all my beauty products, and that is ridiculous. We were lucky because my mum had air miles built up from work and we could bring these bags along for free. But if you don't have that, then it's just bloody expensive and not worth it at all. I've got some tips for luggage, which I will say at the end. I do remember that day still. I remember sitting on the plane, and I think I sent out a tweet about like, oh, sitting on the plane to move to Paris. And then I did get like nervous, excited, like that kind of, not anxious, but yeah, anxious, but not in a negative way, you know, like an anticipation for what was about to happen, with the kind of butterflies in your tummy. Yeah, driving towards my new apartment, which I was very lucky to get that sorted in a way that I was almost certain I wasn't being scammed, because I don't recommend sorting out an apartment before you arrive somewhere. I remember seeing the Eiffel Tower in the taxi and thinking like, oh wow, I'm in Paris and I'm on my way to my new home for the next 6 months. And I could actually see the Eiffel Tower from my bedroom window, and that bedroom was so nice. Hello guys, it's actually much later on now, and as you can see, I'm in my room. So right now it's actually about 7. I've been a bit rubbish with the vlogging because it's already been go 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 since this morning. We got here, I was unpacking frantically for a bit, and then we went out for lunch, and I've just had the best nap ever. I was absolutely exhausted having been up since 3:30. So I'm going to just show you a bit around my room. Please excuse the mess because I still don't know where I'm going to put everything yet. I'm still deciding, but this is the room and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Got some shelves. Do you think my accent's changed since this? Because I hear it and I feel like my accent's different. But anyway. Got some shelves there, nice desk, still got my towels out, still got my suitcases out. I'm not really sure why. I remember putting food on that shelf because there wasn't much space in the kitchen, but also I genuinely used to like spend my Sundays just in my room watching Netflix, and I didn't even want to go out to the kitchen. I just didn't want to see anyone because I'm kind of introverted, so if I didn't want to see my flatmates I would have snacks in my room. That sounds awful. Like, it was my first time moving abroad, and sometimes I think, oh, I wish those days where I was just vegging out I would have gone and like explored more of Paris, but at the same time, like, I don't think I was necessarily ready for that. I was getting used to working 9 to 5, so I guess I needed time to just be introverted and be by myself and recharge. But it's funny looking on it now and thinking like, oh, 20-year-old Emily, what was she like? I'm still a little bit like that though, so I really can't judge myself too hard. This is my bed, which I really like. And as you can see, one of the things I did this afternoon was just pop into the Orange shop and just pick up a cheap phone. I think this is €29 from Orange. It was the cheapest one they had in stock, and it did come with a SIM that has €5 on it ready to go. So I'm just going to use this for calls to France, text to France, but I'm going to keep this phone for calls to England, texts to England using the internet, which at the moment is pretty pricey because of roaming charges, but because I'm on 3 as of July, they're introducing something called Feel at Home in France, which they already have in some other countries, including Italy, which is another country I'll be going to soon, which means that all of their rates for UK calls are the same, as well as the internet. Ooh, speaking of my phone, it's ringing. Let's unpack this one a bit. So, first of all, I still really like that room. I think it's one of the nicest rooms maybe I've lived in. Yeah. So the phone situation, I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of cringe up when I hear like, oh, I spent €29 on a phone, it was the cheapest one they had in store. Like, I get it, you do what you can to make your situation work on the spot, but now that I've moved abroad more, I would definitely put more time into thinking up a solution for that, especially if it's just for 6 months. Like, that phone, I think I passed it on to my mum afterwards, but I really didn't use that phone that much. I don't think I understood properly in the Orange shop what they were telling me. whatever I charged up on my phone at the end of the month would just be like cut off and it would start from zero. It was just stupid, really. So I think that now there are a lot more options out there with SIM cards when you're abroad than there were like 4 years ago. Now if you're in the EU you can get roaming all around the EU, so it might not even make sense to change your phone up. The only thing of course that does change is like making local calls. If you're making a call to a French number on your English phone, then that can get pricey, but maybe the time you spend calling French people doesn't actually warrant getting a whole new SIM card. It depends on your personal situation, but the Feel at Home scheme that I talk about using there, I still use that today. I think that it carries on working as long as you're back in the UK once every 3 months or something. I'll put the details to this in the description. This Feel at Home thing has served me really well over the last few months that I've been travelling and in and out of different European countries, so top tip. That was actually a text from my mum, and my parents are at a restaurant and I'm really hungry, so I think I'm going to join them. Yeah, it was a really nice first evening. It's actually quite a nice evening. It's a little bit more breezy now, but it's been a bit muggy today, but just beautiful sunshine, and for us it's a nice change from England. So I guess I'll see you guys. I don't know, I guess looking at that I feel really grateful that my parents were there to help me to move to Paris, because I moved to Paris like 7 days after finishing my final exams of my second year at university, so I had a very short turnaround time and I don't know how I would have coped without my parents there, and maybe that is something I should have tried by myself, but at the same time I think I probably saved myself a lot of anxiety by having them there. So since then I've done plenty of moving abroad completely unaided, and I can tell you it can be stressful, and you should research and do whatever you can to prepare in advance for that, but just know like it's normal to feel stressed and anxious, and that's part of the challenge and beauty of moving abroad. You're moving out of your comfort zone, you can't prepare, and that's where the magic happens. That's where you really grow as a person. What do I think looking back on it? I mean, inevitably I have hindsight now, so I think of all of the things that I just had no clue about that I was going to learn going through that experience, but that's exactly as it should be. That's exactly how you do learn those lessons. Would I do anything differently if I could like time travel back and be that version of Emily again? No, because it's cheesy and cliche, but really I had to learn the lessons that I learnt. So you have to make mistakes. It's impossible to do something like this perfectly. Just for any of you out there who are in this situation, I would love to give you some tips to try and save money, because it gets expensive moving abroad. I've got a whole other video about things I wish I'd known before I moved to Paris. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but that will be linked down below. If you're moving to Italy, I've got a specific video on opening a bank account in Italy. Also, if you are going to get a SIM card in Italy, that will be linked down below. Wherever you're moving, do not bring 6 suitcases with you. That is ridiculous. I don't even own six suitcases worth of stuff now.
There's a great website to help you out with cross-currency transfers. Accommodation. Be so careful of being scammed. Sendmybag.com.
Jeez, I need to do a whole separate video on this actually, like top tips for moving abroad, because I can't fit it all in. So basically, check out all the links in the description. I will link anything I can think of that might help you. If you're preparing to move abroad, whether it's for study or work, let me know in the comments, where are you going? What are you planning? I'd love to hear about it. And if you enjoyed this video, then I'd love it if you could subscribe and stick around, because I do lots of other videos about this kind of stuff, and I'd love to see you back on the channel. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will catch you in my next video.